My name is Jemima McKinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. I believe that the Buffalo Bills are a dark horse Super Bowl contender heading into the year 2020, and I will tell you why. You know, we could talk about Baltimore and Kansas City in the AFC. I do believe those are the two best teams in the conference, and those are probably the two teams that will meet in the AFC Championship game to decide who goes to the Super Bowl. You know, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are dynamic. You know, I think Deshaun Watson is great, but I don't think he has a supporting cast around him. So I'd probably say those are the two best teams, definitely. They'll probably meet in the AFC Championship game. But up next is the Buffalo Bills as far as just pound for pound talent on your roster. When you compare the talent of all the teams in the AFC, Buffalo's up next in my opinion. And I believe the Buffalo Bills are going to win their division, and I honestly don't think that is really up for debate. I really don't think it's up for debate. The New York Jets are a mess, okay? On offense, they're going to be relying on a rookie left tackle, Mekhi Becton, to protect Sam Darnold, and rookie wide receiver Denzel Mims to get open versus the best corner on the opposing team. I love those players a lot, but the Jets are going to be relying on a lot of young players. I don't know how good Sam Darnold is. I don't love Adam Gase as the head coach, and their schedule is brutal. I'm not sold on the Jets. The Miami Dolphins, I like what they are doing. I really do. They're really building up their defense, but offensively, outside of Devontae Parker, I don't see a whole lot of dynamic weapons. I know that Tua Tagovailoa is very talented, but will he play this year? How good will he be coming off an injury? You know, he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. He's not a generational talent, I don't think. He's not, you know, on that level. He's very, very good, no doubt, but he's going to go through some rookie bumps, I should say. You know, Miami's about a year or two away, but they're building something. The Patriots, they lost a ton of players on defense, and their wide receiver core and skill position players last year were one of the slowest and worst in all football. I know that they had good big name players like Mohamed Sanu and Julian Edelman. You know, I know that they had the whole Antonio Brown situation and Josh Gordon situation that didn't work out, but either way you slice it, you watch the Patriots game last year, outside of the first couple games of the season, those weapons were not getting open consistently for Tom Brady. So I'm not sold on the Patriots. They're going to have to reload their entire roster. And people can say, well, Bill Belichick won 11 games with Matt Castle. And yes, he did. Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach of all time. But you do realize that that was the year after the Patriots went to the Super Bowl and were coming off an 18-1 season. So Matt Castle, you know, inherited a very good team. Jarrett Stidham's not inheriting that. So I don't think that it's up for debate if they're going to win their division or not. This was a 10-win team from last year, okay? I believe they're going to win around 11 or 12 games. And honestly, I'm going to go with 12 because I think the Buffalo Bills schedule is actually pretty favorable, okay? What was the Buffalo Bills' biggest weakness last year? Well, it's not the defense. And we'll get to the defense in a little bit, but their offense at times struggled to move the football. And in reality, they just needed more dynamic players to, you know, get open and just make big plays down the field in the passing game. You know, last year, they're the 7th worst passing offense. They're the 25th ranked total offense. Now, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be much improved in those areas. And I will tell you why. They added Stephon Diggs, who to me is going to open up their entire offense. I don't think Stephon Diggs is quite a top 10 wide receiver, but you can make the argument that he is. But either way, he's a good dynamic player that they needed. He's going to be their number one target on 3rd and 10, on 3rd and long for Josh Allen to throw the ball to. I like John Brown a lot. I think that he's underrated. Cole Beasley over-delivered this past year. Dawson Knox is a good young player that they have at the tight end position, but they're better off being complementary pieces. So now that you have a legit number one option that defenses are actually scared of in Stephon Diggs that can get vertical, this is going to open up the Buffalo Bills' entire passing game. And it's going to elevate John Brown, Cole Beasley, and Dawson Knox play because they're going to get much more favorable matchups. Stephon Diggs, over the last 2 seasons, has had over 1,000 yards each of the last 2 seasons. In 2018, he had 100 catches. And Stephon Diggs is a big play threat. The reason why I say that is because he averaged 17.9 yards per catch. That tells me he's making big plays down the field. They also drafted Gabriel Davis, a very talented wide receiver out of UCF. He's 6'2". He had 12 touchdowns this past year. And again, big plays down the field, averaged 17 yards per catch. He's a big play threat waiting to happen. I think that he's going to be a solid addition to their team. They also added Zach Moss, a very talented, running back. Yeah, running back out of Utah. Yeah, Utah. He's going to be a great compliment to Devin Singletary, who averaged 5.1 yards per carry last season at the running back position. He's one of the more bright, up-and-coming young running backs in the NFL. That's a great 1-2 punch, I should say. And the Buffalo Bills, in reality, they just need a little bit more of an extra boost on offense because the defense last year, it was lights out. In the playoffs versus Deshaun Watson, they were giving him the work the first, 3.5 quarters of that game up until the defense kind of collapsed in the second half. But when you look at things, the reason why the Buffalo Bills lost in the playoffs on the road to the Texans is because, well, for one, Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback, but number two, it was because the offense could not move the ball in the second half. Okay, so now the offense is going to be naturally better just based on those additions. But the defense, like I said, it was a top 5 unit last season. They were the 3rd best total defense. They had the 4th best passing defense. They were 10th in takeaways, so they were taking the football away from the opposing team and giving their young quarterback, Josh Allen, more opportunities to score on offense. And Tre'Davious White's a stud. He's one of the best defensive backs in the NFL. He had 6 interceptions last year. Tremaine Edmonds, he's a star in the making at middle linebacker / inside linebacker, okay? He's a tackling machine. They added A.J. Epinesa in the draft, who was a very solid player at the University of Iowa. They can move him all around the defensive line. They can play him at deep tackle, defensive end. It doesn't matter. He was a productive player there. At all 3 levels of their defense, I'm talking defensive tackle, because Ed Oliver, to me, is a star in the making. He had a very solid rookie season. I'm talking defensive tackle, their pass rushers, Mario Addison, he comes in, he replaces Shaq Lawson. Mario Addison in the last 4 years has 39 sacks. That's pretty good production, I would say. So you got a start, not necessarily a star pass rusher, but a pass rusher that you can rely on to win and get after the opposing quarterback if he needs to. So you've got a great pass rush. As far as your edge rushers go, you've got very good defensive tackles. Vernon Butler comes in to replace Jordan Phillips. He was a solid, replacement for him. You got a star inside linebacker, and you got a star in your secondary. Not to mention you add Josh Norman, who had a bad year with the Washington Redskins, but I think with a new scenery and in a better scheme that actually fits his skill set, he'll be a lot better. At all 4 levels of their defense, I'm talking, the defensive tackle, the defensive end, the linebackers, the secondary, the Buffalo Bills have some real players. This season is going to come down to Josh Allen. And I'm going to admit, I'm not the biggest Josh Allen fan as of right now because he needs to be more precise and more accurate down the field consistently. Josh Allen is not the most natural thrower of the football. He's got a very strong arm, arguably the strongest arm in the NFL, but he needs to be more precise and more accurate consistently down the field. But I can't lie to you and not think to myself that Josh Allen has potential. There are tools to work with. He improved a ton from his rookie season. This past year in his sophomore season, his completion percentage went up 6 points. His pass rating went up nearly 20 points. He had 20 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. And let's not forget, Josh Allen is a pretty solid runner of the football. The last 2 seasons, he's got over 1,000 rushing yards and 17 rushing touchdowns. People forget that about his game. And Josh Allen is now heading into his 3rd season in the NFL. Like I said, there are tools to work with. He's got the big time arm. He's a great athlete. He can move outside the pocket. Now in a year in which he has better weapons, better running backs, an offensive line that was very solid last year. The Buffalo Bills offensive line is very underrated. A defense that's not going to ask him to score a whole bunch of points in the first place. He's going to be much better in my opinion. And I would not be shocked if Josh Allen has a breakout season. Because in the past, we've seen quarterbacks in their 3rd season break out. Jared Goff, he went to a Super Bowl in his 3rd season as a starter. The same thing can be said with Aaron Rodgers. As a starter in his 3rd year, he went to the Super Bowl. Andrew Luck led the league in touchdown passes in his 3rd season. Derek Carr, he was an MVP candidate in his 3rd season. Now, some of those guys have retired or either flamed out. You can look at Derek Carr, Jared Goff, and Andrew Luck will retire, but Aaron Rodgers is legit. I'm not saying that Josh Allen is going to be this next great quarterback, but it is not crazy to think that Josh Allen is not going to take another step within his development as an NFL quarterback. He has the tools. He has the support around him. But in reality, it comes down to Josh Allen. This team is going to go as far as Josh Allen takes them. He's going to have to make the big boy throws in tight games down the stretch. Okay, so the jury is still out on if I'm totally all in with Josh Allen, but he's definitely a franchise quarterback, and I do believe he's going to improve this year. But we'll see how good he is in the playoffs. You know, his playoff performance wasn't great versus the Texans, but I look at the Buffalo Bills. This team is legit. This team has a lot of talent, and outside of Kansas City and Baltimore in the AFC, and maybe Denver, they're the most talented team in that conference, and they are easily going to win this division. So if you're not sold on the Buffalo Bills, I hope this video convinced you that you should be sold on the Buffalo Bills, because I don't understand why they are not getting much more love this offseason. And by the way, just for a food for thought, I should say, who wants to go to snowy, cold Buffalo, New York in late December and January for a playoff game? No one wants to do that. That's one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. I know Patrick Mahomes is great. I know that Lamar Jackson is great. But if they have to travel to Buffalo, New York for a playoff game, it's going to be an ugly matchup. You know, it's going to be a game that's going to be close and hard fought. The Buffalo Bills have a real home field advantage, and they are a smash mouth, punch you in the face team. So their style of football travels everywhere in the playoffs. You know, cold weather, rainy weather, sunny weather, it doesn't matter. The Buffalo Bills have the type of team that will travel very well. So don't sleep on the Buffalo Bills, because I think they will probably wake you up this season if you're sleeping on them. But we shall see what they do come postseason time. I do think they'll make the playoffs. How good will they be in the playoffs? Only time will tell. But I do believe Buffalo should get more love this year as far as teams recognizing if they are a Super Bowl contender, because I think the Buffalo Bills are a dark horse Super Bowl contender in 2020. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.